in 3, 2. We're live. Now. So we're waiting. 2 people watching. We're waiting. So everybody knows if you come to this late, so you'll know for the next time, I don't start my intro until there are 5 people. So Randy, you don't get introduced.
I'll live.
You have to live in obscurity until we get at least 5 people. I got to put my smart guy glasses back on. We're up to 3 for everybody who is joining us and for everybody in the future who is confused by the title. This is going to be trivia about Batman's sidekicks.
Yeah.
Your Robins, your Nightwings, maybe your ancillary characters like your Catwoods.
Joe says, hello, hello.
We got British Joe in the talking square. The typing
Hello,
square.
Joe.
Square.
Typing square. Hello,
Get it
Joe.
right. There's 4 people watching.
4 ain't 5. And I don't roll into my intro that I painstakingly crafted until 5 people show up, or we get 10 thumbs ups, and you can only give 1 apiece, right? You can probably get more, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody do some research. Oh, we lost one.
Pip.
Brexit Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Brexit Cheerios.
I need to get
Breakfast
glasses.
Losers. And who knows? And then Randy, now I can tell you. So you will be the first recipient of the FFOP 5.
Oh.
The FFOP 5?
Yes. So I've devised an interview type scenario where I have 5 questions that I will administer to you before we go, super deep into the episode so that I can judge you and,
Oh, boy.
and hold you up against a ruler that I hope you can measure up for. Otherwise, I will treat you as hostile for the rest of the episode. So
boy.
This is gonna be a big step for you. You're the first guinea pig of the FFOP 5. So I hope I don't have to treat you hostile.
I'm happy to break ground.
So can I ask, who decided to do sidekicks? Batman sidekick.
Well, because I was like, hey Randy, what do you like? And like everybody, I asked that. He goes, I don't know. So I said, well, what about like comic characters? We could do something on that. And I'm like, I know you like Nightwing. So I said, what about Batman? He's like, I don't know much about Batman. I said, okay, you know what? A lot about Nightwing? And he says, yeah. So I say, okay, we can't just do Nightwing trivia. For God's sake, it would be so boring. So sidekicks. That expands. So we got Robin. I'm sure he worked with other people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Well, I think it depends what you classify as a Batman sidekick.
I think anytime he works in conjunction with another person for the same purpose, that is a sidekick.
All right, so like Superman's a sidekick.
I'd say they were I'm considering a sidekick is also lower in stature.
Okay.
Or I will also accept like a villain, because villains are way below hero, and I think sidekicks are still above villain. So I think if like he teams up with Poison Ivy for one episode or one comic or whatever, I'd call that a sidekick situation.
Okay, I can see that.
I'm gonna get fired this episode, I think.
And even let's say even Catwoman. Like I wouldn't call her a straight up sidekick, but she does fill the sidekick role every once in a while because she wants to get that bat dong.
Yeah,
That's strange upside down bat dong.
They were almost married.
Were they really?
Really?
Yeah, like a couple of years ago. I think
What?
Maybe these are real people.
yeah. Oh yeah, the comic came out a couple years ago.
Halle
Selena
Berry?
Kyle? No.
Yeah, Selena Kyle, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, Selena Kyle. No, nobody accepts the Halle Berry Catwoman as canonical.
No, it's like the worst movie ever made.
Yeah. Nice try, studios. Just kidding. It sucked.
Cherish says, hello, friends.
Hello, Cherish, and welcome to the room. Cherish, is Keith listening or watching with you? Because I'll count him as another number, and we'll kick that 4 up to 5, and I'll start this motherfucker right now. But I have to get confirmation first.
If he's not, you could just say he is.
from the typing square.
Or is the cat watching? because
I don't count the cat. I need
that's like a 0.5.
I need like 7 cats per human. If
Cat's very judgmental.
if we're gonna do cat years or 7 and dog years or 7, I need 7 cats per every human to like this episode.
He's listening, she says.
All right, then I'll call it. So this is what you'd see. Like, here's what would happen if I were like tech savvy and smart and shit. Like, you know, whatever, Patreons or maybe people who join some sort of club would see all this shit, but everyone else would see like a red curtain, like a classical theater red curtain, like you know, think Looney Tunes red curtain. And then I would say, okay, we're going to do this shit. I would have a big switch here on the wall. I'd go click. It would raise the digital curtain. And that's when I would start. Because right now there's going to be like all this like meandering and bullshit beforehand does a lot to undercut the awesome and snappy intro that I bothered writing. So now that I've got all that out of the way, hey everybody and welcome to the stream. My name is Dave and this is Hangout and Trivia. Please join me in welcoming my guest, not in studio, of course, because he lives way the hell across the country, but he's the namesake of the Dirty Randy Studios. We got Randy on the show.
Hey, everybody.
So, Randy, I had a powwow with the guys. No one can remember why. Do you remember why we named the studio after you?
I do.
Okay, what's the deal? I don't remember.
So you used to do the donate to the FFOP website. You guys would do the movie recommendation.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
And no one could find the movie I wanted to watch.
Right.
I wanted you guys to review, so we ended up doing it kind of as like a consolation prize.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like that's the thing with that movie review show. I realized we probably shot ourselves in the foot for going so obscure, because I still have not run into a single soul organically in the world who has watched that Snake movie that we reviewed on the Review Universe so many years ago. And if it didn't exist on the DVD that I own, I might not believe it ever happened.
I will say the Grizzly Maze is on Stars now on Amazon.
So was Grizzly Maze the one you wanted to do?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. Okay. So I found it later in life. Yeah, I found a copy and I bought it because I caught it on like after you at S4, like I caught it on Sci-Fi Channel or something, and it was like, oh, it's Jaws, but it's a bear. And I'm like, bullshit. It was terrible. Like, why would all those people like Billy Bob Thornton's in? Like, why would all those people be like, yeah, I'm gonna be in this bear movie? Like, they must have whoever bankrolled that must have like come to their houses with like just like
they had some dirt
or Ed McMahon style checks. Like they rolled up and like you could see the dude like, so there's no confusion. He's got a check that's 4 foot wide and it says like to Billy Bob Thornton, $umpteen billion. Please be in this bear movie that we just took Jaws and put it in the forest and made it a lot less interesting. Because here's the thing, you need like that mayor character in the Jaws narrative to be like, I don't believe you and I ain't shutting down the town. When it's just a bear in the forest, what are they going to do? You can't shut down the forest.
Yeah.
Like there's no mayor of the forest. They can't like, I'm taking this to the mayor. And it's like a raccoon with a tie.
Smokey the Bear is the mayor of the forest.
You got to bring it up to Smokey.
No, Smokey's the fire marshal.
Who's also the mayor. He's the everything of the forest.
No,
he's the only elected official.
Yeah.
No, because like it's
he runs unopposed all the
what's
time.
his nuts? Smokey the Bear is the fire marshal. McGruff is the police chief.
He's the crime dog.
He's the crime dog. But that's the thing. You know, they're pretty much freelance. Like I would almost call them like contractors. Like Smokey the Bear, he's like just doing this. He's like a Johnny Appleseed. He does it for the love of the work.
Just a volunteer fire dog, bear.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. Like if your home was constantly being threatened with fire from hillbillies shooting bottle rockets and Mountain Dew cans, you'd want to take an active role in your existence, I bet.
Yeah.
Like imagine if my next door neighbors were constantly like throwing big like super soaker squishy balls full of honey to attract bees to my house. I would probably take an interest in apiaries.
Kayla says McGruff and Smokey in the conversation. I knew I was going to miss out on the good stuff.
Yeah, you got to get here fast, Kayla, because that's when McGruff and that's when fucking McGruff and Smokey fanfic happens.
Was there a
dare when the big
animal?
guns come out?
Was there a what?
A dare?
He was a
animal?
lion.
Oh.
I don't.
Yeah.
He was such an unimportant character that he came and went so quickly.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a McGruff commercial like
Yeah.
a couple years
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
about anti-drugs?
In the 80s and 90s, McGruff was the face of like
Scruff McGruff.
Scruff.
Yeah, wasn't it Scruff McGruff?
No, it was McGruff the crime dog.
I thought he had a first name.
No, you're thinking of Scrappy Doo.
No.
Completely, it's Scruff McGruff. It's McGruff the crime dog. But that was the thing. 80s and 90s, it was like, hey, what we need to teach children about a vague idea that, you know, has no concrete whatever. We need a mascot. So it's like, hey, put on your seatbelt. You can tell a kid put on your seatbelt and be like, oh, I get that, like as a concept. But when you see crash test dummies flying out of windshields, you're like, okay, I get it. That hilarious character would be dead if he weren't a puppet. And you can't really tell kids, like, watch out for dudes with shivs or dudes who are offering you crystal meth. So they have to have a dog in a trench coat be like, watch out. And it's the same thing with Smokey. You can't, like, imagine instead of Smokey, it just cuts to, like, you know, animals running through the woods on fire. And it's like, you know, watch out for forest fires. No, you need a bear who's not on fire, but also has human characteristics. So even the dumbest viewer can be like, I understand it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Smokey. And that's when you start writing shipping fiction and it gets gross. So Randy.
Yes, sir.
Here are the notes to the show that I usually have. P.S. Hashtag Flamingo Friday. Flamingo's back there. Flamingo's here. Wear flamingos on Friday, everybody. I'm trying to get this to be a thing. Remember when Tom Likas had Flash Friday? I'm trying to make something a little less disgusting. Tom Likas. I would love, like, no one would ever listen to this, and they would probably, like, knowing cancel culture, I would be canceled. But I would love to do a whole show as Tom Likas, but I don't know if my throat could take it. So anyway,
I don't know who that is.
oh my God! So Tom Likas. Let's not get to the questions yet. Tom Likas, back in the days of talk radio, was like a famous, like the most famous talk show host misogynist ever. Every like Thursday, he would have Likas 101, in which he would describe how to get the most sex for the least amount of money. He said, if you're spending over $40 on pussy, he would say, if you're having to spend over $40 on pussy, call it a night, gentlemen. This is Likas 101. It was the crazy. I used to, here's the thing, because he was such an insane character and I thought he was a caricature, I would listen to him all the time. But I don't, here's the thing, even if he is a caricature and it's the greatest character acting I've ever seen, all the dudes who called in being like, yeah, Tom, blow me up. That was his thing too. You'd say, hey, Tom, I just got pussy. And he'd go, what's up? Oh, that was the thing too. You'd call him father. All the dudes, all these idiots who would like one nut wonders who would call in would be like, Father Tom. And he would go, yes, my son. Like he was always their dad. And Likas 101, you never take a bimbo out on a date and spend more than $40.
Joe wants to know if this was regional.
No, like he was a big, like maybe it was on the west side of the US because he was centered in LA, but I know his show was syndicated. Just don't know how far. But that was his whole thing, was like, you know, and he would just, it was 50% of the callers were like, hey Tom, I spent basically dudes calling in to tell Tom how much they spent to get pussy, like, and the smaller the number, the more proud Tom was. And this was also a close cousin to the character who would call in and be like, yo, Tom, this bitch was a bitch, and I told her she was a bitch, and he'd go, oh my God, that's the best thing I've ever heard. And then it'd be like the one guy in a million who'd call and be like, I know women are people too, like the voice of reason. And he would get shouted down so fast. Like, don't call into somebody else's show if you have a dissenting opinion, because they will mute your ass, make you look like a moron, and then he makes another $1 million because you called it. And then all the 900 calls after you are the dudes in the basketball shorts and the tank tops calling in and being like, yeah, fuck yeah, I spent $450 on chicken nuggets and got a blowjob. You know, that kind of dude.
Taff says now we have robots for that and warm American pie.
What? Warm. I've never ordered a slice of American pie. Taff. It's apple pie. Plus, I don't trust the sex robots yet. We're not there. Maybe like if we lived in not north, obviously. the bad Korea.
Mm.
If we lived in the good Korea that has all the sex robots, and I got to see them in action every once in a while, then I'd be like, more informed opinion. But right now, they just seem too dangerous. But yeah, so like, look up Tom Likas. Like, he's this hugely controversial figure. Like, I can't believe. Imagine if, like, every week when you tuned into this show, FFOP, not necessarily the stream, but like FFOP radio, and it was just me doing, like, because he did this shit for years, like 25 years. This, Lycus 101, where he just says the same thing. He's like, treat women like garbage, and then you can push them down. And then, like, he would also be like low key give people like advice on how to get their pregnant counterpart to terminate the pregnancy. It was shit that you could, like, you'd never hear it anywhere today, like, unless it was on the radio and some like Alex Jones right-wing bullshit or something crazy like that. Like, you could say shit on the air that was like so mind-boggling. I couldn't believe it. Wow. And that's the only reason I watched. But after the irony wore off, and I was like, oh my God, this dude has a legion of fans who are all like paramecia trying to get their dicks wet for under $40. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it anymore. So anyway, Andy, do not call my attention anywhere else before I read these. So here we go. This is the FFOP 5. Like I mentioned earlier, these are the questions I'm going to judge you on from here on out in the rest of the show, and possibly the rest of our relationship as friends.
Oh boy. All right.
So first question. What is something that you're into that most people aren't? So what I mean by that is, let me clarify, like when I say, oh, what are you into? And people go,
I already have the answer.
Video games. Okay, nail it. Give me it then. Most people don't understand what I'm talking about.
Oral hygiene.
What?
I am super in-depth knowledge of like oral hygiene and stuff like that.
Is your father or mother a dentist?
No, they were actually very lax in oral care as a kid. So
so is that the reason?
Yeah, that's kind of the driving force behind it.
So let's hold on. You just blew my mind by having an answer to this question that I honestly would never have expected. Let's unpack this a little bit. So you say I'm really into oral hygiene. Like, what steps did you take to learn and or accomplish your goal in getting involved in oral hygiene?
All right. So obviously I'm not like a dentist or a dental hygienist,
obviously,
but I've been to, like I got one left. But it's very shiny. Every time I go to the dentist, I try to learn as much as possibly can from them. Because growing up, I didn't have the mentors to take care of my teeth.
So you're like a weird dentist groupie?
They're going to be like, oh, this guy's coming in for a cleaning.
Fuck, it's Randy. You're like, I cannot sign another pair of dentures for that kid. Like, can't we push him off? Like, get a specialist in this motherfucker.
I don't know if I would call myself a groupie, but I mean, yeah, maybe that.
A dental roadie.
Randy's coming in for a mold of his teeth again.
Enthusiast.
Well, every time I go in, I just try to find out what like the best things to do, for your mouth is and take care of your teeth and stuff like that.
That is
so
hilarious.
Like, I've had 20-minute conversations with coworkers about they should do this and not that and why and stuff like that. Yeah.
No
Anybody that listen, I'll talk to them.
I think he's my favorite person.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm so upset that it took me this long to come up with this list of interview questions simply based on this one interaction with this one question, Randy.
The first one.
Oh my God.
Don't fuck up the rest of them.
Your interest in dental hygiene is honestly one of the most interesting things I've ever heard.
My cousin just graduated from dental hygienist school.
Yeah, but that's work. Randy does it on his own time.
I am just saying.
Here's how you can tell.
We may have, Joe.
What is that?
He said, as former coworker, I feel like we have had a conversation like that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I totally forgot you guys were coworkers.
Yeah, that part of the country is small.
I understand that. I lived there, but I didn't know them.
You keep forgetting, so I got to keep being like, remember, you lived there. Wow, that's I'm
excited for the rest of the answers.
I'm like now I'm really interested because here's like full disclosure, these are just 5 bullshit questions that I wrote down that have literally no importance, but I was going to ask everybody. But now I see that I am a fucking genius. All right. Next one.
All right.
Give me a band that you could listen to exclusively for the rest of your life. So from today moving forward, you get one band. You can listen to all their new stuff if they make any, and all their old stuff, whatever they've got.
I mean, my favorite band is Bayside. I don't know if that means anything to you, but
I was
could
hoping
probably
you were going to say
listen to them.
Baywatch.
Yeah.
So Bayside,
No.
what's their
Bayside.
style?
They're kind of, I don't want to say emo punk, but they're definitely more like,
Okay.
they're not very like upbeat, but
Are
they're
they still active?
they're not sad. Yeah, they're still active. They actually
Okay.
came out with an album like 6 months ago.
See, that's smart.
They've been around for a while. They've just never really made it that big.
Yeah, like all the good ones always are though, man. Like every good band that I've ever really like responded to in a like a deeper either emotional or like intellectual way, it's never been shit I heard on the radio. Like I didn't hear Diamonds by Rihanna and be like, this is something I
Yeah.
can dissect.
This
it
is
was
my
something-
jam.
Yeah, no, I would hear that song and I would raise a fist into the air and I would get out on the dance floor. But all the music that I love, I can dissect and I can see what the parts are, whereas every other piece of music, I'm like, I don't give a shit. What is Joe saying, Krista? I just saw a whole bunch of crap
He's
pop up
being
over there.
so mean to me. You act like it's a miracle that two listeners somehow know each other outside of FFOP fan base, forgetting the fact that I am the one that introduced Randy to the show.
Let's be legitimate, everything. In Joe's defense, literally everybody involved with the show knows everybody.
I
You
disagree.
don't do
Or at least know of everybody.
Yeah.
Like when you I think of people
Knowing of somebody and being coworkers
Here.
are completely different.
right, but
things.
here's how I'm gonna split the show. Let's say we draw a line down the middle of the US, like the Mississippi. We've got our west side fans and we got our east side fans, and all of them are close enough together like that they just know of or know each other naturally. Like Nick, Joe, Randy, like everybody back there, all the
We're all
gaming
from the
stars
same
here.
town.
Yeah, like you throw a rock and you'll hit someone who listens to the show back east, but here it's a little harder. Anywho,
They're a little
so-
more spread
so-
out over there.
Bayside was the name of your band.
Yeah, Bayside.
All right, all right. Third question: you got to lose a limb. I don't care which one it is. One's got to go. Pick it.
Left arm.
Left arm.
Are you righty?
Yeah,
Oof.
like I'm not talking like appendages, like fingers, right? Full limbs.
Full limbs.
All right, left arm. I'll go with that. I'm still.
That was a quick answer.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I immediately landed on left leg because I like
I
him.
can't walk anymore.
You get a titanium. I didn't say you couldn't have a replacement. Just saying you got to lose one, and it's going to be horrific. But here's the thing: a leg is just like you can simplify a leg to a single joint, a knee. If your hand's gone, you got a claw, and you can't open shit anymore. And you
I don't know.
people.
It made some real like. There's some good technology out there nowadays.
Yeah.
Listen, it's
I can't
not,
afford it, but it's there.
Right. even if what we had today was readily available, it is still a far cry from like, whatever, giving yourself a stranger with the other hand. You have to say goodbye to literally everything that hand will ever do. Whereas like, what's your leg going to do? Possibly kick something? No, it's going to carry your ass from place to place, which I can replace with a couple titanium
Yeah,
rods.
if I play hockey again, I'm sitting on a sled.
Just look at the drummer for Def Leppard. You don't think he could, you're not better than he. We're all humans.
It's true.
So I've lost a little bit of respect for you for that answer.
Oh,
Moving on to question 4. What animal would you like to test drive the body of? And the caveat here is it had to have exist or does exist now. No mythical dragons or bullshit.
I have to say the falcon,
Okay.
Um,
Well, there's so
but
many
I-
falcons. Have you landed on a specific species?
the peregrine.
It's common, but I'll take it.
Yeah,
It's like you want to be the Toyota Camry of falcons.
yeah.
the base
I
model.
also don't know any other falcons.
No, I'm a champion of the the base model. I'm a Camarasaurus enthusiast.
Yeah.
So so that's the thing. So you would now here, since you're only to be test driving it, so you can go back to your body.
Yeah,
Would you take the like. I think this is what makes or breaks a situation for people being in an animal's body is, are you going to catch something live and eat it while you are in the body? Or like, let's say you're one of the SeaWorld falcons and you're flying around, zipping around, getting fed pieces of meat on string. Are you still going to eat that raw meat? So I guess that's two. Would you eat the meat? Number one, because it's already dead. So that's ethical dilemma lessened. Or if you're in the wild, are you going to hunt a rabbit and rip it to shreds in a tree?
I mean, do I still have like all my faculties, or am I like driven by the animal instinct?
Well, here's the thing. So you're going to have to. Well, that's a personal question, because if they put you in this body, obviously you're going to have your faculties. But number one, you're going to have a learning curve with the body. So whatever, we're skipping past like the origin story. I'm saying, like, let's say
this is like episode or movie number 2.
Yeah, like we cut past all the bullshit. Like, you know how to do it, and they say, you say, oh, I'm gonna go spend the fucking weekend as a falcon. Say, I'm taking a 3-day weekend, boss. Gonna go be a falcon. 3 days is like, don't get me wrong, you can survive 3 days without eating. What I'm asking you is, do you, as Randy, want to experience the hunt of a small animal as a predatory bird?
I don't see myself as a hunter. So I think
here's my question to you then. Why be a predatory bird with talons and beaks and speed? And you're like, nah, I'll take a pass on the whole thing that they're about.
So when I was in 5th grade, I had a misunderstanding on a kid that gave a project about falcons, saying they flew through their prey. And I took that literally as they leave falcon-sized holes in things. I thought that was the coolest. This is how I took it. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So I'm like, falcons are awesome.
Well, yeah. But then you're like,
I more want that speed. I don't care so much about ripping a rabbit to shreds.
But the example you gave me is flying through, literally cartoon style through.
Exactly. That's how I took it.
I don't know, Randy. I feel like this is a little too hypocritical. So let's just move on to number 5.
Yeah, I could have said like the sheep.
Go eat some grass.
What I'm saying is, like, if you're gonna be
boring animal there is.
My thing is, if you're gonna be an animal, you want to get in that animal's body and exploit it. So that's the thing. There are multiple ways to exploit an animal's body. So if you want to get into a bird and just fly around real fast, great, I get it. But I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't at least, take a test drive all the features. Like, if I'm going to jump into an elephant's body, I wouldn't just eat peanuts all day. I would want to knock a tree down, or like hunt some poachers, or like, whatever, dig with my tusks, visit an elephant graveyard, like all kinds of shit. I wouldn't limit myself. And I also wouldn't be too haughty to eat a little grass or drink a little water that someone may have pissed in, because let's be real, in Africa, when those puddles are shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, it gets less and less fresh the smaller it gets.
Kayla says, exploit animal bodies. Is that another rant about furries?
Listen, that's the thing about furries is, thank God, most of them just want to be human-sized animals. They don't want to have sex with animals. That is a whole different thing. And I can recommend a documentary that's probably still on YouTube.
Was it that horse one?
No, but that one's not as good. I think, crap, it's been so, I'll have to ask. Oh gosh, it was crazy. Like, there's a dude who looks like he was like kicked out of an 80s hair metal band at one point, and he's like talking about how he loves to get down with this like miniature stallion.
What?
I'm like, yeah. Oh, I've shown it to you. I had to have. It's good. It's a good one. It really makes you feel good about yourself, is what I'm saying. Because here's the thing about this movie. You can't, like a good procedural, you can't have someone just sit in a chair and tell you these disgusting things about themselves. So, like any good, situational comedy, procedural, or whatever, they gave these idiots busy work. So as these two women who are talking about the things they like to do with animals, they're like also working around a kitchen, like chopping up peppers for a salad and shit. Because whoever made this documentary was like, I know SVU logic, and we need these people. We need something to like distract from the fact that these people are really disgusting, and the fact, whatever. Mm-hmm. You're gonna in SVU, it's so you don't realize how one-dimensional and stereotypical these characters are. In this documentary, it's like, please let's take the edge off of how disgusting this is. So here's some peppers. We're making a salad.
Yay.
Get the dressing out of the fridge. We're just a couple of girls at a slumber party who have sex with animals, but we're just making a salad.
Just like you.
We're just like you. Yeah, and then they all jump in, like they're coming up a hill, and they all jump into the air, and there's a freeze frame, and the sun's in the sky, and the blue is sky, and the green grass. Anywho, last question, Randy. What is all this? What's going on over there, Randy? I hear dinging all the time.
He's stirring his whatever's in his bunny mug.
Yeah.
I bounced my pen off my mug.
Jesus H. Christ. It's like a ringing a bell over here. It's not dinner time. All right, last question. Scale of 1 to 10. How much do you love Steven Seagal?
I mean, I'm going to go with an 8. I know I don't love him as much as you, but I've definitely watched his movies because of you.
That's acceptable, and I will take that answer. And there ends the first FFOP 5. So now it's time that we play some Batman trivia, Batman sidekick trivia, only a mere 30 minutes into the show.
Can we just, before we start trivia, can you just say that you're not going to fire me for these questions? This was a very difficult trivia to do for a Batman sidekick.
Listen,
it's a very niche market.
Yeah.
I've got the culprit on the phone right here. If you wanted to make a complaint,
Randy.
I think technically it was Dave's idea, and I said okay.
Well, I mean, I was given nothing to work with.
I'm writing both of you up.
The seed of the problem was in Randy's court. So I'll make you a deal. If this does go bad, Randy, you're banned from the show, and Christy, you are fired. So that way everyone will be square, and it'll all even out in the end.
Great.
So, Randy, what would you like your team name to be?
Oh, I didn't know we were doing that.
Everybody that comes on the show here,
Randy
anybody that's
doesn't live on
listening,
the internet.
whoever comes on and does trivia, have a team name.
Also, can someone in the chat give me my own email address? Anyone? I'll take it. I've forgotten my email address. Please help. Write it in the chat. Write it in the typing square.
Send help.
Guarantee I'll never see it. Anyway. So, Randy, team name. I suggest something on theme like Batman-ish.
Call it the Batarangs.
Okay, Team Batarang. It's a little on the nose. I mean, I'll take it. For all of my, I can't. For everyone struggling with who they are inside, I'm Team Two-Face.
Nice.
Or for people who are horribly burned on half of their body in acid that also made them crazy. This was for all for you also.
Kayla says, I know the email, but I can't be manipulated like that. Joe says the show email or your personal email?
It's the one and the same, Joe. Let's be real. Like, I'm going to get oh, yeah. No. You know how, many
Someone's
times.
going to know your Juno account.
Yeah, my Juno account. You know how many times I've had to give, professionals my Fistful of Podcast email because I refuse to get a stupid one, like my name at Gmail. I'm not a sellout. I'm a free-thinking individual.
Excuse me.
And if you want to get at me, you can send that to fistfulofpodcast@gmail.com, guys. God damn it.
Dave, I'm surprised you didn't go with Matchhead? Was that the guy that was made out of a toilet?
Made out of a toilet?
What?
I don't remember that. No, that was one of Dave's characters from one of his shows.
What? Matchhead?
Yeah, it was like some kind of Batman villain that got swirly and gave matchstick head or something like that.
Oh God. Well,
Wow.
maybe you're okay. Yeah, that's a deep pull. And now you say that it barely tickles my memory, but I can't pull any details. But good on you, Randy. So that being said, as you are the guest and FFOP still has a mostly win to loss ratio, I will let you go first. But as always, if you cannot answer the question, the other person will have a chance to steal. So good luck to you, Randy, and Krista also.
Randy, what is the
Krista.
what is the name of the first Robin?
Dick Grayson.
Yes.
That was easy.
Look, you said last episode you want it easy.
You know,
And you don't know how many
maybe
questions.
listen. Maybe you could read between the lines and make it easy for one person. Maybe make it harder for another.
Well, yeah, he lost the last game, so
Yeah, so maybe Krista take the hint. Jesus Christ. Load the deck. Make Randy sweat.
David,
Yeah.
which character, both the alias and the name, became Oracle after being shot by Joker?
Oh, Barbara. Oh, what's her Gordon? Barbara Gordon?
What's her alias?
Was she Batgirl?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Joker shot her in the ass.
Right in the ass. Joe says, "How has your marriage survived so many trivia contests?"
Luckily, she hasn't been at fault for most of the trivia, Joe. That's the only reason.
Does this include back in the day when we did the video game one?
That one's still just thinking about it boils me. All right, Randy, listen up.
I'm listening.
Randy, which of Batman's sidekicks was introduced first?
To be Dick Grayson again?
No.
His side, it's not Batman and Dick Grayson.
Oh, okay.
Would it be Robin?
No.
No. Who?
Commissioner
Alfred?
Gordon.
He's a side. No. What? Who? Listen. No. That's bullshit. Commissioner Gordon is not a sidekick. He is working within the law, and Batman works outside the law. He's a vigilante.
You're getting yelled at.
You can be a sidekick if you're also a vigilante. Like, he passes Commissioner Gordon information. It's a quid pro quo. Like, you'll never. Like, Commissioner Gordon's not like, yeah, let me get my cape. Bullshit.
He did once pilot a robot suit called Buster, and he was Batman for a little bit.
Was that during the that wasn't when he broke his back, right?
No, I don't believe so.
Let's see.
Joe says it absolutely does include that specific one. Trivia. Police Chief O'Hara is more of a sidekick.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if I would call Gordon a sidekick, but whatever. No one got the point, so it's no harm, no foul, I guess.
Correct. Apparently, and that happened in 1939, and that was also Batman's first appearance.
Oh, because I was thinking back to like the 1940s serials, like the disgusting, like he's in a like a black Oldsmobile, and like the like, oh my god, like back in the day it was so easy because it was like, oh, I'm Batman, who am I fighting? The guy threw a dart at a map. The Japanese. And then it was like, yeah, of course. We'll just put a white guy, make him Japanese, and then we'll drop a bunch of racist slang. Oh my god. I remember watching that on DVD. You get it at Walmart for like $4. Bring it home, be like, oh my god, it's the 1940s serial. All of them on one DVD. And then you hear one of the gangsters working with the Japanese mafia say, that plan's as yellow as your skin. And my mouth fell open, and I haven't watched it since. Anywho,
my mom got a YouTube's.
Oh my god!
She says, "What about Alfred?
A butler, not a sidekick."
And then
he buttles.
Taft says he's Batman's Batman. Of course, he's a sidekick.
But if Batman's Batman, that means Batman's the sidekick to Gordon. I would say that their relationship is more symbiotic. Robin needs Batman for his costume, his shit, all of his cars and bikes and shit. Gordon don't need Batman. He was a cop before Batman. He's a cop after Batman. He's not a fucking sidekick, Tav.
Joe wants to know, how long do you think a montage of Dave berating Krista about trivia questions over the years would be? Long enough.
Out of the 10 years, it must be at least 3 months. Commissioner Gordon, like, come on.
And I'm talking about just the parts with Dave's voice.
Whatever, Joe. Who's up next?
That's a project for intern Joe to
I think it's you, Dave.
I think it is you.
Hit me.
Name the actor that portrayed Dick Grayson in the 1995 Batman Forever movie.
Oh, Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to pull the 60s one.
I never would have got that.
I remember him, too. That's not a question, is it?
No.
It's Burt Ward. Burt Ward was the original Robin.
That's not a question.
And Cesar Chavez was the Joker.
Kayla says, at least as long as Tom Leykis' career.
Tom Leykis. See, like 35 Tom Leykis. Leykis 101.
And Joe's on it. He's going to figure out how long.
Thank God. Listen, if somebody's listening and has some sort of technical skill, RJ, I was talking to RJ, so if this is a bad idea, blame him. RJ said we should make like lyric videos, or I take snippets of the show and like, I guess, put lyrics over. Is that a thing? I don't know social media. If you know how to grow a social media, let me know in the comments, in the typing square.
Yes, put it in the typing square.
All right.
Randy.
Which
sidekick at one point or another was both Batgirl and Robin?
Is that Carrie Kelly?
No.
The only like real like Batgirl I know is Barbara Gordon. So if it's not her, I don't know.
Not her.
Don't know.
Stephanie Brown.
Oh, that was my next guess. Shit.
Nice one, Randy. What's the score? That's what I really want to know.
Team Two-Face has 2. Team Batarang has 1.
Nice. Team Two-Face, 1 for each side of the face. Joe, I don't know. What are you? Bob Kane's ghost.
An hour later, Tap.
Listen, I want to see receipts. You give me that ghost call slip and I'll believe you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Gordon is a sidekick the day I die, and probably not even then.
Okay, so these other questions, these are not from TAF anymore. These are all from the internet. So good luck.
So who knows? The quality may drastically shoot up, down, or stay the same.
TAF says R.I.P. Dave. David, who was the second Robin?
Todd something. Oh, God damn it. Todd Sparrow. I don't know.
No.
Shit. Randy.
Jason Todd.
Yes.
That's what it was. Jason Todd. Fuck. That's the thing. All these. You can't give a character a zany name because then you're like, that's stupid. Like Bruce Wayne. Totally normal name. Jason Todd. Totally normal name. Dick Grayson. You're kind of pushing it. But it's hard to remember, like, unless you're really into the lore of all these like secondary characters. Like some people don't know like Captain America's name. Oh, maybe now that Marvel's a thing, but whatever.
Joe says time for some old school Dave outrage because I'm getting them from the internet.
I'm already unhappy with this Commissioner Gordon situation.
That wasn't me. Randy, who was the first Batwoman?
I have no idea.
David, who was the first Batwoman?
Woman. Eartha Kitt. I don't know.
Kathy Kane.
Is that related to Bob Kane?
Oh, maybe.
I think I might have a second opinion on our hands with this Kathy Kane character.
David, who was the second Batwing?
Batwing?
Yeah.
Not Nightwing?
Nope. Batwing.
I have no idea. Not a clue. I don't know who the first Batwing. I didn't know there was a first Batwing.
Randy?
I also didn't know there was a Batwing.
All right. Well, Luke Fox.
Can someone confirm that? Like in the...
It was from a Sporkle trivia.
What the hell is Sporkle and who's Batwing?
It's a website that does trivias and quizzes. Sporkle.
And stuff. Now
what was his name? Luke Fox?
Luke Fox.
Luke Fox.
Is that like Lucius's kid?
Yeah,
is that Lucius's
I don't
nickname?
know. I don't know.
What the? Yeah, Luke.
I didn't know that was a thing.
What?
Typing square. I mean, I know I'm right because I took it from the internet. So.
No, you take it from Sporkle.
Which is the internet.
I don't trust Sporkle with Batwing. What, Batwing?
My mom says
Robin?
Eartha Kitt was Catwoman.
Yeah, I know. I was making a joke. Eartha Kitt, kitty cat.
Meow.
It was a layup.
Who's next? Randy.
Yeah, I think so.
Who is Red Hood?
Red Hood is Jason Todd.
Yeah.
I'm taking
Team
off my smart
Batarang.
guy glasses. This is bullshit.
They're not making you smart.
No, they're not helping. Especially with all these terrible questions.
Team Batarang has 3. Team Two-Face 2.
What the fuck is that? How did Randy get 2 more?
He didn't.
I got,
He had
yeah, I
1,
did.
and now he has 3.
Oh,
I got 2 in a row. I got 2 Jason Todds.
yeah.
Fuck. It's not a 2 more. What? So what? We all these Jason Todd questions. What is this executive
only
decision
2.
of this night?
Yeah. There's only
Jesus.
2. There were only 2 executive decision ones. There's only 2 Jason Todd ones. What is
there's-
Alfred's code name, David?
Alfred's code name. Oh shit. I don't remember. The lion.
No.
I have no idea.
Randy.
I don't. I'm gonna go with teabags. I don't know.
Teabags.
No,
Teabags.
that is incorrect.
Fat fellow. This is Teabags.
His code name was the Outsider.
The Outsider. I feel like I've
Kayla wants his code name to be Sporkles.
Sporkle. Sporkle. This is Batman. Master Wayne.
See, and the
Come in,
internet
Sporkle.
considers him a sidekick.
Who?
Alfred. The internet considers him.
Here's-
Alfred's family.
I'll give him that because he has to run the Bat computer and whatever, and he is a subordinate. I will buy Alfred as a sidekick. Who I won't buy? Guess who? It rhymes with Schmunitioner Fortin. He's not a sidekick, guys. Don't listen. Don't listen to this propaganda. He's not a sidekick, guys. Don't listen. Don't listen to this propaganda you're seeing in the typing square. Commissioner Gordon has a full, rich life. He's got a very thick and nice mustache. If Batman were to disappear, he'd be fine. Batman would disappear. Robin, gone. Batgirl, gone. Alfred, also gone.
You don't think they would rise up and become like the next?
Who's going to bankroll
superhero?
it? Batman goes away and his billions disappear. What? Robin is going to do what?
Well, he has to have a will. Maybe it goes to Robin.
No, he burns it all.
He has no family.
No, Batman, like when he dies, he has a rocket ship made out of all his money and they shoot him into the sun.
Mm.
Then no more sidekicks. If you can, what I'm getting at here is, Christy, you're getting lost in the minutia. What I'm saying is, if you can live in a world as you are without Batman, you're not a sidekick.
In a world.
In a world where
Who's
Batman
next?
writes you a check. And I guess technically, if you want to count people on Batman's payroll, it's like all of Gotham because he owns Wayne Enterprise.
Yeah.
Guys, come on. So let's not be stupid about this. I'm saying anyone who, I mean, the stipulations are there. Gordon, not a sidekick. Who's next, Krista?
My mother says Alfred had the bat phone,
I think it's me.
A bunch of people have bad phones.
which makes them a sidekick because they have a bat
Yeah,
phone.
what? Remember 20?
Batman has a bat phone.
Does Commissioner Gordon have a bat phone?
What? Listen,
No, he has the spotlight.
I already conceded the point. Alfred is a goddamn full-fledged AKC kennel papered, stamped and approved, notarized sidekick. What I'm saying is, I don't care who has a bad phone. Alfred has a bad phone, obviously. He lives in the goddamn Batcave. He's in the mansion. Yeah.
I think Alfred's a coworker.
No. Co-worker my ass. Batman pays him.
No, Bruce Wayne pays him.
Right.
Listen. So by that logic, is Batman Bruce Wayne's sidekick? No.
Well,
No. Listen. You guys are all nuts. It's very clear. The hierarchy is very clear. If you can live outside of Batman's sphere of influence and be still who you are, no sidekick.
Randy.
Like Catwoman.
Oh yeah.
But there's a caveat. She may have actively worked with Batman.
Mm-hmm. Randy, what is Team Oracle? What team is Oracle the leader of?
The Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Yeah, god damn it.
Kayla says we all know Aunt Harriet was Batman's real first sidekick.
Aunt Harriet? Who's Aunt Harriet?
I have no idea.
Was it like Aunt Harriet, somebody from like some sitcom, like Fresh Prince of Bel Air or something?
Oh,
the Cosby Show or something.
no, and
Oh yeah.
often overlooked. In fact, we just did. Probably because it's
Totally.
not very good.
Look at that.
I have 4 more questions left.
Okay,
David,
Okay, here we go.
What team is Duke Thomas the leader of?
What? I don't know. Duke Thomas. I feel like okay. Hold on. He's the football team captain, and they are the. I don't know. Duke Thomas. I feel like I remember seeing him in like the animated series. I don't know. The Gotham mental patients. I don't know.
No. Randy?
I don't really know, but I'm gonna guess the Young Titans.
No. We Are Robin? Was he Robin? I'm assuming he was a Robin at some point.
What was the name again?
We Are Robin.
The name of the person.
Oh, Duke Thomas.
Duke Thomas. I could have swore there was a character like that in the animated series who was like the captain of the college football team or whatever. I remember him showing up and being like, yeah, but then again, every like dude like that in every cartoon like that was named Duke or Dirk or whatever, something very similar. So that's not helpful.
Randy. What is the main color worn by Huntress?
Purple.
Yes.
Huntress. Is that who's the Huntress?
Huntress was the daughter of an Italian family that got killed by Falcone, and she went off to Italy to train to become an assassin.
Why
she
purple?
came back to get revenge. I don't know. It's her favorite color.
Listen, if you're gonna be one with the night, you don't choose bright.
Oh, Robin's in red.
But it's like muted
God
red.
damn it!
It's still
Gotta
red.
get rid of that question then because.
What? There was a question like, what color was Robin?
What is the main color worn by Robin?
No, that is not a question that you were going to ask on this show tonight. That is not. You're lying, right? Hold that paper up so I can see it. Hold that paper above the screen in front of you. I want to look at that paper right now.
No, because there's another answer on it.
Cover that answer. I want to see. Are you fucking kidding me?
Softball.
What? What? So, and that would have landed probably on Randy. So Randy gets what's Robin's name number 1 right off the bat, and then he would have got what color is Robin? What? The Sporkle gave you these, you say, and you're like, yes, as a free-thinking human individual with the question, what color is Robin? You were like, this belongs on this list for tonight. What's the score? I need to know what's going on here.
It was 5-2.
I cannot believe the lengths the people around me will go to sabotage this show. It is almost unfathomable. All right, well,
last question's for you.
Yeah, great. Okay, hit me. What's the second Robin's third shoe size when he was like doing his first growth spurt?
Who's the first Catwoman?
Selena Kyle?
Yeah, you already fucking said it at the beginning of the show.
Why here? Just for future reference. Maybe look at all the questions ahead of time and be like, hey, some of these are easier than the others. Guess what you should do? One of those easier ones to the top, because 9 times out of 10 times we have done this show, the last question is, what color is an orange? It's like, hey, what way is up? Why are all the easy questions backloaded? So we're like constantly scratching our head at the beginning, and then when it's supposed to get tense, when it's supposed to naturally progress in tension, it's what color is Robin? Typing square, please. Am I this? What? Who? The second Robin went to grammar school in this city. Dave? Hey, Randy, what color is Batman? Hey, Dave, it's your turn. Batman is exactly 6'2" and how many eighths of an inch? I don't know. What, Randy? Your turn. What
right.
animal does Batman pull his costume from? It's a barn burner. This is bullshit. I need someone. Someone's got to work on these trivia questions, man. Sporkle is off limits from now on. No more Sporkle. Holy crap!
Kayla says new trivia question.
Oh my!
What color is Red Hood's hood?
Ah!
You're not helping the situation, Kayla.
What's the thing that the Joker can't tell enough of? Huh? Everybody seems to be off their nut tonight. We've got what color is Robin? We've got Commissioner Gordon stepping in his sidekick. We've got 3 and 4 Robins making appearances 4 and 5 times.
Hey, on my quiz that I did on Sporkle to get these questions, there are like 7 Robins.
You took like the Jason Todd quiz. Jesus Christ.
There were 47 questions, and they were like, who's the first Robin? Who's the second, third, fourth? Who's the first Huntress? Who's the second Huntress? Who's the third?
And you were like, what color is Robin?
That was also a list of questions. Who is buried in
That was
Grant's
a list
tomb?
of questions? What color is...
Yeah. There were like 7 of them. What's the main color of X? What's the main
color of Killer Croc, Randy?
Green.
What the? How did you know that? I read that on the internet. And it told me it was trivia. Here's the thing. Trivia is something you need more than just your eyes to figure out. Like if the question is what color is a banana, that's not trivia. That's eyesight. That's common knowledge. Randy.
David.
One thing we know for sure is that I am a really great interviewer. If this show has taught us nothing, I'm really good at interviewing.
And we learned that.
And Sporkle is bad at trivia.
Randy likes falcons.
Oh, and Randy loves being a falcon.
And teeth.
Oh, could you imagine? Let's say, okay, Randy, here's a hypothetical for you. Let's say it's the future, altered carbon style. Except the ethics are a little looser and you can put yourself in animals, but the animals can be genetically altered. Do you go as a falcon with teeth?
No.
What? It's your 2 favorite things.
No, that's weird. Isn't a falcon just smiling at you? Freak you out.
Well, you wouldn't have any lips. I don't know if I would call that smiling.
You wouldn't sleep for days.
That's the thing. I don't know about like being a bird. There are some birds out there where you're like, okay, that'd be cool. And then like let's say you're a parrot or anybody in that family, and your tongue is this little dry macadamia nut. I don't think I could ever get over the loss of a wet tongue. Like if you had to go from a human mouth to like a parrot where it's constantly open, and your tongue looks like the pinky toe of someone who got it smashed in a door.
Oh man.
And that's your life. Nobody wants to be a parrot. And if they do, there needs to be a psychological evaluation. I might do flamingo, but it's not my favorite.
You be a smiling flamingo?
I wouldn't get the teeth, no, because that's not my thing. Cavity creeps. No, I'd just be a regs ass flamingo. Or maybe, no, here's what I would be. Since I opened it up to the altered carbon future, I would be a genetically engineered flamingo with hands under the wing, because I still want the wings for the overall. You got to have that classic flamingo shape.
Yeah.
So the hands and arms go into the wings, but also mustache and shades.
So I have this batshit idea that you're probably gonna think is batshit. But
listen, I am a connoisseur of bad ideas.
In this altered carbon future, I feel people should be genetically modified so that our teeth are not made out of bone, but are made out of keratin.
Listen, now you probably remember this, and I'm gonna, remind our viewers at home. When I was speaking remember when we had Victoria Arbor on the show that talked about Zool, the ankylosaur from Canada?
Yeah.
We had a discussion, and I floated my perfect scenario to her, and she thought it was gross. But I wanted to have teeth more like dinosaurs and sharks, where one breaks or falls out, you got another one that comes and takes its place.
Yeah, that would be
think-
fantastic.
I think mammals got fucked over dentally because every other animal, like let's take something as simple evolutionarily as the stingray, the manta ray, that whole family of rays. Flat teeth, they can drop as many as they want because they make more on the double.
Yeah.
And I feel jealous of every animal out there that has the ability to just pop out a new teeth or a new tooth, because like if just imagine what you would do. Because like, you know, whatever. I'm not saying you open stuff with your teeth a lot, but let's say you have carte blanche because your teeth are infinitely replaceable. How many things are you going to bite now? A lot.
Exactly. And that's kind of that's the thought with keratin, is because it's strong as shit. Is what makes a rhino's horn.
Yeah.
And like maybe you go get it shaved as opposed to getting your teeth cleaned.
Well, it would be like rat teeth.
Yeah. It would a constant stream of new teeth.
Okay, so here's the thing, and typing square, I want you to weigh in on this too. Let's say you get here are your two choices. You can either have modular teeth like sharks, rays, etc., that fall out, piecemeal, or would you rather have something that grows constantly that you would have to trim? So like with sharks, there's just like that constant revolving door of teeth as they break off or whatever. Or would you rather have the same teeth that constantly grow, but you have to like file them or clip them or something, or obviously chew on something like rodents? So I personally, I want the shark tooth model, like human teeth, but shark tooth model.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down for that, but
but the keratin thing would be interesting too, because that opens it up to like, what if you just have two teeth, just whoop whoop on the top and the bottom,
like two big teeth?
Yeah, like they would just grow, and
oh man,
you'd have to grind them. But that's the thing, maintenance.
You never have to floss again.
That's true. But the maintenance of the thing, I think, would be too much. I would rather, because here's one of the silver linings of the constantly revolving tooth carnival is, who cares if you brush or floss? Because if there's something stuck between your teeth, those two teeth will eventually be gone.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk to people whose mouth smells like shit all day.
Right, but what I'm saying is like there's less of like an inherent danger of something getting stuck and an infection happening because they're constantly rolling through. Whereas like if you've got your keratin teeth that are constantly growing and nothing's breaking off, you can still get shit stuck down. Let's say, not one big tooth, but all individual keratin teeth. You've still got those spaces for shit to get in.
Yeah.
So I think
I get that.
So that's why for me, I'm thinking like, I want to take a bite out of something. Let's say I lose 4 teeth, whoops, shit, whatever. The more and more roll in. I think that's because we're all looking for the path of least resistance. Let's be honest with ourselves. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, like you will always get tired of doing the right thing and just do the easy thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you can, whatever, like at this point, humans get what? Somewhere between 50 and 60 teeth, counting baby teeth and adult teeth through your entire life. Imagine going through hundreds. But here's another thing. Like the ocean floor, and the one thing we have of like, sharks going back in time are their teeth. So just imagine everybody, boom, has a shark mouth. The streets and sidewalks are just littered with teeth. Just like broken glass of a million accidents
like
everywhere.
Just shells at a Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, like you're constantly kicking. Like there's teeth sweepers rolling down the street, and it's just constantly like a snowy afternoon, but it's the middle of summer and it's just teeth.
Kayla says, I guess it depends which version is best to take a bite out of crime.
McGruff, the crime dog, said, McGruff would want the revolving teeth.
I still think it was Scruff McGruff.
I think you're right, Chris. I
do.
Thank
you.
Scruff McGruff.
Listen,
the crime dog.
You have access to, like, you're sitting in front of a computer.
Yeah,
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to take my word for it that I think it's wrong. You can look. Somebody, chat window, typing square.
Yeah.
My chat window is totally frozen, so I don't know if anyone's saying anything anymore.
I just read you the most recent one.
I know, but I still fear for what I will miss.
Uh-huh.
FOLO. What is it? FOMO.
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 FOMO?
Yeah, fear of
Fear of
missing
missing out.
YOLO.
I do FOLO. Fear of living only. Wait. FOLO? That's not working.
I use keratin shampoo.
It sounds kind of sad.
FOLO. I've lost the thread. What were we doing?
I use
think it
keratin
was-
shampoo. We're talking about keratin
don't care about
and
that
teeth
anymore.
and Randy and your
Somebody was supposed to be looking up something.
Scruff
Yeah.
McGruff.
Scruff McGruff.
McGruff,
That's it.
McGruff the crime dog's first name.
Somebody Google that. I need. If we only had an intern.
Well, Joe's been silent for a while.
Joe, come back.
He's too busy looking to see how long David has berated me for.
Yeah, he's putting
Putting together a montage.
Yeah.
together a supercut as we speak.
27 minutes of screaming.
I'm excited because I'm hoping, and if RJ doesn't deliver within the next few days, I'm gonna have to get on his ass about it. But I think this latest show could yield some pretty good memes. And I'm a fan of memes, and RJ makes good memes, and I want a goddamn meme. So RJ, if you're out there,
Meme
my Facebook.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of the show.
This very show,
Randy.
or 10 years ago?
Randy, do you know RJ or PJ?
I've heard him on the show, but I don't know him on like a personal level.
See? He knows of them. That's the point I was trying to make. Everybody on or associated with the show knows of everybody involved in the show. Guarantee.
My mother did not find Scruff from McGruff. Come on, but that's why Randy thinks I'm right. Scruff
Listen,
McGruff.
here, I'm fine. Here, watch. This is completely unprofessional, and I was trying to make literally anybody else but me do this, but I'm going to Google on film. Like, this is what it's been reduced to, guys. McGruff, the crime dog. Yeah, there's no first name. You want to know what? Guess what his nephew's name is? Krista,
What?
you want to guess what his nephew's name
Is it
is?
Scruff?
It is Scruff.
I mean, is his last name McGruff?
Yeah, but his nephew isn't him. Look, this is crazy.
Well,
It
what
even
does
says-
he do?
What do you mean? He's his nephew.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but is he a detective too?
right.
You guys have access. Randy, you see what I'm holding up here? Everybody in America owns one of these.
Hey.
Now, I also want you to indicate to you what
I'm being
they're-
polite, Dave.
Motherfucker.
Well, and here's the thing. David has told me not to use my phone in the studio, so I don't have
Yeah,
my phone out.
But after we've gone 20 minutes with an unanswered question, I had to break online video protocol, use my phone, which is completely unprofessional. And now we know his name was not Scruff. And we're all going to blow by this, but I want to point out that I, again, was right.
Kayla says, "Hey, is this a stream about McGruff's crime dog family?" Yes.
It's very slowly turning into a retrospective of the McGruff family tree.
I feel I have very little information to give to this.
You know,
I don't have any trivia for that.
characters like that always had nieces, nephews, uncles, aunts, like Scrooge McDuck, like the Duck triplets, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. No parents. They have an Uncle Donald and a great Uncle Scrooge.
They have a mom named Della Duck. Della Duck is their mother.
When did she show up?
She showed up in the 50s, and she's also in the new cartoon.
Number one, I can't. I'm not going to fact check you because it would be ethically questionable to pull my phone out on a stream again after doing it the first time.
My daughter has watched the new DuckTales about 40 times through,
But
and
here's
I'm
the
very
thing.
confident in my answer.
Listen, I grew up watching DuckTales, and if that information escaped me, Disney did a shit job.
No, she wasn't in the original. She was in a comic book in the 50s.
Exactly.
And she was in the new cartoon.
Randy, I was born 30 years later. I can't, as soon as I pop out, make who are Huey, Dewey, Louie's mother my number one priority. Because they still don't have a father, number one. Tons of uncles. Like Gizmo Duck could be one of their uncles for all I know. Like the town of Duckburg is so incestuous. Everybody's uncles and nieces and nephews and shit. what was the girl duck's name? Daisy? No, Daisy was the mom ish. That was Donald's girl Bo. What was the girl little duck's name?
Oh shit!
It did start with a D, I feel, and I feel like it was close to like. Doesn't matter. That's what it is. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. You don't. Humans have this weird bias against immediate family members. Like if you meet someone and they're like, "Oh, this is my dad," you're immediately like, "Ugh," it's like a watered down version of the thing I like, But if it's like a nephew or a cousin or an uncle or whatever, it's removed enough that you can be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is fine.
Why is that?
You got a good point.
But no one, I don't think anybody knows why. Because like when you meet somebody and you're like, oh yeah, this is my dad or this is my brother, anyone around them like immediately is like, ugh. But everybody's got like a cool aunt or a cool cousin. And since you're not like that, like one link away, it's somehow better. Typing
because
square.
You don't see them all the time.
I don't know if that's it. No, but not even like that. I'm talking about like, let's say, beyond just like TV characters, like people in your own life. If a character in fiction or someone in your life wants to introduce you to a close family member, it feels different if it's like an immediate, like brother, sister, mom, dad, immediate household. You want to be like, okay, that's cool. But if it's like a cousin, aunt, uncle, whatever, further removed, they're always cooler in your eyes, I think, or like easier to. What am I trying to get at? When you have a friend or a character you like, you realize they came from somewhere, but you don't care, so you don't want to meet their parents. And you realize there's other close copies of them, and you don't want to meet their brothers or sisters because it feels like it waters down the brand of the person you like. But if it's a cousin or an uncle or whatever, then it doesn't water down the brand because if you don't like them, you can be like, well,
you don't have to see them again.
Yeah, there's a layer of separation.
Right. That's what I was trying to say before.
But I mean, like, these are people you won't interact with. I'm talking about like on a TV show. Mm-hmm. Like if they do have a cousin come on, you can be like, oh, I accept that. Like, yeah. Okay, here's a good example. Later in the later seasons, Peggy's family, the Wankers, like abandoned their child, their 7th child, named 7 on the Bunnies, and he lasted like 6 episodes. And the reason why is because like he was taken in as a kid of the Bundys, and it's like, this is a weird thing. And it was complete, like you're used to the Bundys, like you accept all 4 of them into it, and then you're like, oh, this person's also related, and they kind of usher them in, and you're like, I don't know this person, gross. But if he came in, if it was a different character that wasn't a child, because like Darcy, she had like 2 husbands. She had Steve, and the first guy.
I know there was like the muscly guy, and then there was a skinny guy.
Ted McGinley was Steve Darcy, and the first guy, whatever. Moral of the story is,
didn't the first one leave and then come back in the later episodes?
Yeah, he was there, decided he wanted to go like pursue a Broadway career, and left. And in the show, he left to be a park ranger, and he showed up a couple of times as like one-offs, but it was always weird.
So Steve was the first guy, Jefferson was the second.
Jefferson.
That's what Kayla says.
That's right, Jefferson Darcy.
And 7 was the 6th child. They just didn't know how to count correctly.
Oh. Well, like it's been a while since it's been off the air for 20 years. P.S. So my memory is a little hazy.
Oh, Kayla said, I totally kill at Married with Children trivia. Not that I'm volunteering.
Married with Children, all the shows that existed in the 90s, it was like the last time it was okay to be like edgy. And not even edgy at sometimes, just like flat out insulting to huge swaths of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird to watch these old shows and have them be like all the uncomfortable, like tiptoeing around and stuff of like gay characters almost feels like quaint and nostalgic, because it's like, it harkens back to a time when it's like, oh, this is like when the weirdest thing to the public at large before the internet and the world was made a lot smaller by instant communication. Was like, ew, what if someone's gay? That's weird. Like, and that was a huge plot point in a lot of these shows. Where nowadays, like, if someone were to come up to me, like whether I know them for a minute or a decade, and they were like, hey, I'm gay, I'd be like, great, can we go to the movie now or whatever? Like, but
cool, moving on.
You could have a whole 2-part special episode about someone being like, I'm gay in the 90s, because it was like, that was the thing. And now it's like so quaint, where like, obviously there are still problems, but compared to the 90s, like being gay is the new vanilla.
Yeah.
So I here's another thought experiment. What would it be like if we had like the type of society we have today, what with, all these splinter groups and all these, people who claiming they're all different genders and trans people and all this other stuff. Let's say we throw all that into the 90s. I would love to see a 90s take on modern sensibility, like people and stuff, just simply because it would be so outlandish.
Yeah.
But it would be also very tame too, because like basically it would just be like, swap out the word gay for the word trans or the word black or whatever the thing you're doing, like whatever movement we're going to capitalize on for comedy. Maybe it still would just be sort of like very, blah, and like tiptoeing, oh, that person's trans, or that person's XYZ, that person's, I brought someone of a different race home, we're going to talk about that and this whole movement. I of course it'd be wildly insulting to literally everybody. But it's a product of his time. And I think that those types of thought experiments would be funny. But
yeah,
I don't know. That everything is so weird.
When was
media wise?
When did like Are You Being Served? When was that?
That was the 70s.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they were overtly racist.
Super about
I
everything.
remember that show.
Yeah, Are You Being Served is one of my favorite shows.
But like watching it now, like they're obviously being super insulting,
right?
But their accents and just the way it is, the world is now makes it.
But it's crazy to think that like this is just like the status quo in the 70s. Like someone would come in, like there's an episode where like this Japanese guy comes in, and he's played a huge big stereotype for laughs, and he bows with everything he says, and he says so, and then they're using like they're doing that thing where you replace the R sound with the L sound while talking to him and stuff, and it's just like very like, oh my god. But there's also like an old timey kind of feel, like it's a minstrel show, like it's a time capsule, and you can look at it in the context of like, man, this is like what? Like not only like, but here's another thing you have to consider is anyone will do anything for money. Yeah. So there's nothing stopping someone from taking a racist role right now because literally, well, anyone will do anything for money. So I can see why the Japanese guy would be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll play this insanely. And that was the thing. Like the guy playing the Japanese businessman visiting the store, he spoke with an English accent because he was from England. Yeah. He was an English actor, but they made him this comical, like, oh my god. And then it made him so clumsy that at one point he falls down a flight of stairs and gets his head stuck in a bucket.
Yeah.
It's if you can laugh at that stuff without getting angry at how like regressive it is, it's still funny. It still holds up because Randy, I want your take on this too. I don't think there's ever going to be a point where people don't prejudge someone. I don't care if it's a second or an hour or a minute or a year that like you have to look at someone. If you look at someone, your body is going to tell you like a judgment, like give you a fight or flight or something. So there'll always be like that knee jerk, like, it's different and weird.
Yeah, you're going to have your passive biases no matter what.
Yeah.
Somebody.
And I think it's all well and good to be like, yeah, we're going to live in a rainbow coalition of every race, color, creed, religion, gender, yada, yada, whatever your thing is. nobody will ever be evolved enough to not have at least a knee-jerk reaction to something new and different. I'm not saying you can't overcome it immediately, but if no one's willing to admit to themselves that part of our humanity, like, and we're just going to ignore it, I think that's also regressive. Because if you can say, you know, oh, I had a knee-jerk reaction, I felt weird, but I pushed through it, then it shows you're a strong person. Not acknowledging it at all is wrong, because then it's like, I don't mind like getting offended. I don't mind offensive comedy as long as it's a joke. But now it's harder and harder to tell, because everybody's woke and everybody's experiencing cancel culture, where it, you know, that's why here's another thing I'm going to tell you. Like, now that everything has changed and everybody is like super, the only term I can think of is woke. It's like everybody's like super aware of everybody else's situations and calling attention to them, making special accommodations for it. Like, I think that's also kind of shitty, because if we're always being like having to label each other and be like, no, don't call me that, call me this, or I don't identify as blah, blah, blah. We all just treat each other like people instead of being assholes to each other and finding reasons to be assholes to each other. What if, here's a novel idea. What if I meet someone and I say, hey man, pass me that whatever, and they say it's not man, it's ma'am, and I say, oop, sorry, that's the end of it. But that won't happen, because there are going to be rednecks out there, and also like everybody's aggressive. So I can't expect everybody to be like you, me, everybody in this room, everybody in the chat, everybody nice who we all hang out with, because we wouldn't do that. And I think it's weird to have all these straw men. So, you know, like, take for instance, Randy. Remember when the whole, like, when the bathroom thing was in the news, and like, we don't want trans people going to these bathrooms because they'll be committing these crimes.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fucking straw man argument. You're making up a person who then you are making up a personality and offenses for this made up person, and then being like, that's what they're going to do. Meanwhile, it's still against the law to assault people in bathrooms today. Just because someone says, you know, if you identify as X, now you can do this. That's not like, that's not dog whistle for it's time to go commit crimes. Like, murder is still murder. All these crimes are still crimes. Just because you open up the laws to be more inclusive to people into your society, why in that, like, in what scenario? And I also want to see, like, inside of these people's head, like with this straw person, this straw man argument, this trans person who's going into these bathrooms, or these black people who are doing all these crazy things, all these straw people in everybody's heads. I want to know what they look like, because if we could peer into people's heads and, like, let's say you're on a talk show and the person is arguing, you know, against this, whatever, let's say it's the bathroom issue for the sake of argument. I want to see a little thought bubble of the person being like, these people are going to go in and start ogling our daughters because now they're allowed to go in the bathroom. I want to see a little bubble above their head with what that person looks like. Because I swear to God, it's going to be like a fucking monster, like with dripping fangs and like a Democrat t-shirt and, like, you know, long hair and like real scraggly, like a monster. And so if we got to see that, when you tune into something and you see this pundit being like, well, blah, 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 and you see the little thought bubble and you see how out of touch they are, you'd be like, aha, they're just an idiot. Oh, that's so crazy. But you cracked the case. Yeah, you cracked the case.
Don't need the crime dog.
You don't need Scruffy or his uncle.
Scruff McGruff.
You don't need Scruff McGruff or his uncle, regular McGruff. And that's what I think is so crazy. Like, these, because I know all the people who are basically being targeted in the media right now. I know a bunch of different people from all these walks of life. And not once have I been like, yep, you're the person who's going to sneak into that bathroom. Because they're already doing it. Yeah. Guys, listen up. If there's someone who's going to go out and sneak into a little girl's bathroom or another woman's room or go into a dressing room at a JC Penney, I don't give a fuck. If whatever disgusting thing they're going to do, they're going to do it anyway. They're criminals.
Yeah.
Right.
Just because
I feel like that's the most missed part in those arguments is like, oh, these people are going to do these things. It's only like the criminals that are going to do these things.
Yeah, and
Like,
P.S. they're already doing
And
it.
they've been, you're right.
Yeah,
they've been
nothing
doing
was stopping them before. What does it matter
Like,
now?
changing the technicality of some superficial appearance, qualifiers doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
Like, let's say, whatever. I know I throw a lot of shade at furries. Here's the thing I won't say. I'm not going to say they're all murderers because they all dress. I'm not going to say they're 100% sex pervert. I want to say a decent chunk of them are sex perverts, but I can't ethically or morally or rightfully in my heart of hearts say that all furries are disgusting sex perverts. Because maybe there's one guy out there who's just like, yeah, I like hanging out and looking like a dog. Fine. It's hard. You can't generalize. You do you. But if it's gross, like, gross. That's what I'm going to say. It's gross. Oh, what? Let me get your. Here's a hot take, Andy or Randy. Have you heard of otherkin?
I mean, I'm sure I have like a vague idea about it, but I won't claim to really know anything.
Nuts is like it's like one step above a furry. So otherkin are people who believe they are species dysphoric, I suppose the scientific bullshit term would call. So like you say, oh, I was born a human, but my brain is a deer. Which no, it is not. Your brain is made up of chemicals derived from human DNA. Never in your lineage have you ever been a fucking deer. And those are the type of people who I think I can write off completely. Furries, whatever. They take off the suit, they can rejoin society, they can be the Starbucks barista or the Fortune 500 company runner, whatever. I don't care. Whatever. You want to fuck someone in a furry suit in your free time, whatever. But these otherkin people take it into real life and they wear horns and ears and shit. And they're like, I'm actually a cat or whatever. And they'll meow. And it's so like, how did you get so disconnected from the species you were born into that you are actively looking for things that are dumber and lower on the food chain to identify with? That's the part I don't get. It's so weird to eschew, logic and human culture and throw everything humans have away because you identify as an Arctic fox or some other fucking crazy thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I think being an animal would be cool, but I would miss movies. I would miss indoor plumbing. I would also miss the complete absence of predation. We have no natural predators. I would not want to go be a deer where lions live.
I feel like if someone, I don't want to overstep it, but if someone's saying like, I'm a deer, like I feel like that's only when it's convenient to them because they probably go home, turn on the TV,
obviously.
sit on the internet. Like, deers can't do that shit.
You don't see anybody nude. Like if you're claiming to be an Arctic cat, you don't see them running around with a tail sticking out of their ass. They still wear clothes. That's why I think it's like otherkin is a delusion and is a problem. Because no matter how harmless it is, the fact that person wants to be removed from their own species because they think they identify better with something dumber and less evolved and less everything. Like imagine just giving up half of human culture. Just like everything you know about a human culture, gone. That would be a huge blow. Now imagine being an animal and having no access to music or movies or good food or like a toilet paper,
clean water.
Yeah, clean water, healthcare, deworming medication. Like you don't want to be an animal. Being an animal sucks. That's why we stopped doing it. That's why we live in houses.
Yeah.
Being an animal sucked because you can be a pet, which is another type of person's thing, which we won't get into because that's also disgusting.
I'm gonna open that can of worms.
But like why after tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years of brain development and tool usage and the evolution of culture and technology, why would you want to throw all of that away to be a basset hound? Why would you want to like what? I don't get it. There's got to be somewhere in the DSM-5. Like there's got to be a Dr. Kinsey of our era who's like less of a crackpot, but able to look into all these weird things. I don't know. It's weird. Weird
went down a
guys.
crazy rabbit
How
hole.
the hell did we get on this subject?
I don't know. I've got a lot of stuff swirling around in my head a lot of the time, so I just have to go with it, or else I have a problem.
Just chase it.
If you don't get it out, it just stews, man. And that's why I'll say, here's the thing. This is the FFOP promise. I will respect you if you identify as a person. If you call yourself an animal, we are not friends. I don't care if I get called a speciesist.
You're out.
If I get canceled for being against people who think they're animals, I don't care. Because you do not turn down a Ferrari in favor of a tricycle. You are not going to give up everything that humanity has to offer in turn for literally nothing, living meal to meal, constantly afraid of predators. Like, here's the thing that I also always annoying, especially like in junior high and high school. Randy, I'm sure you had this as well. That cluster of people that wish that they were born in medieval times or some other romantic bygone era.
Oh yeah.
I can understand that, at least from one aspect, that you want to indulge in the history, you want to see the time period, whatever. Forget the fact that you're giving up electricity, indoor plumbing, medicine, all the creature comforts and things that are keeping us alive. I can still understand that because you want to be a human and see and feel and experience and have a cognitive sort of relationship with your environment, because you're like, whoa, this is old timey. That's a rat. I got the plague. There's the queen. Here's some jewels. I'm going to die now in a ditch. Great. Fine. That's a human experience. And you have there's something to take away from that. If you're like, I want to be an animal where your life is literally constantly finding food and or running from things trying to kill you, that's what you want to go to instead of being a human?
Be terrified and uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah, like here, my other kin persona will be an Australopithecus. I'm going to roam Africa 2.4 million years ago and probably get killed before the age of 13 by a large saber-toothed cat. What a dream. What a fantasy. Like, if your whole thing is like, if it's just like a sexual component, whatever, then great. Just do that while you're banging. But if you're the type of person who's like, I'm an animal, or like, let's say I'm another kid, I'm an Australopithecus, and I go out into the world and I wear a loincloth and I carry a stick and I've got, disgusting bloody pelts instead of clothes, I would be looked at as a mental patient, and rightfully so. But I would definitely
cross the street if I saw you coming at me.
But even then, I'm still pretending to be a human. Ish type creature. But that, like, if someone out there could explain to me what the appeal is, or what the drive is, or what in your mind, what is driving you to, because I'm sure the same argument that used to be used for like various orientations, you're like, are they born this way, or are they, is it a product of the environment or whatever? Like, obviously I feel like this is a bigger, grayer area.
Yeah.
Because when you're born and have no concept of other animals, you're not going to pretend to be a deer. You can't pretend to be a deer until someone points out a deer to you and says, that's a deer.
Yeah.
So don't tell me that like, oh, I was born and then the wilder of the animal, the more outlandish. Like if I was like, oh, I was born a Chinese water dragon, that's something you're not going to figure out until like maybe your teens. And if you're in like a remote area or just not have access to like nature programs, it can be in your 20s. So don't tell me like, oh yeah, I was born a blah, blah, blah. You had no concept of that. You were a blob of cells until you popped out and started screaming. You didn't know what a deer was. You can eat all the grass you want. I don't believe that you're a deer. Crap in the yard if you want. Still not a deer. All right, Randy. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Here's the great thing about it. It's not about the trivia, thank God. It's about all these hilarious conversations.
I'll throw a trivia question at you, Dave, and I'll do it as a winner takes all for it if you get it.
Hit me.
Who was the first Nightwing?
Wasn't it? I want to say it was Dick Grayson because he aged out of Robin into Nightwing, right?
He was the first one that was Batman's sidekick, but he wasn't the first Nightwing.
I don't know. You're the Nightwing expert, man. I don't know.
It was Superman.
What?
Yeah,
I was gonna say if it was Jason Todd, I was gonna blow my stack.
It was featured. He was in that Bottle City. I don't know what the hell that city's called, but he took on an alter ego of Nightwing, and he wore like a blue and gold suit. And then when Dick Grayson grew up, he decided to take on that name.
I don't know, man. Comics have insane origins that
they're all over the place.
You know, I consider myself an aficionado of the Hulk, and even he, like, as simple as his backstory is, he's basically a Frankenstein character. He's a dude, something happens, and then we have a problem. But all of his origin stories are so crazy. Like, there's always something very similar, but they're always like take for a perfect example, like Hulk Year One. It is one of the best incarnations of the Hulk because it's like a murder mystery-ish thing. I don't want to spoil it, but check it out. Moral of the story is like they're all comic book characters who have existed for over 5 years have such a tangled, historied bullshit story. Unless you're really versed in that character, it's hard. It's impossible actually to keep up with all this.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like you know, I had to jump off of Captain America like right around the Civil War era stuff was going on because it was getting too fucking zany. Like with everybody you can, and that's the thing about comics, you can die, come back to life. There's no stakes. So there's no real reason.
There's no real death.
So there's no real reason for me to tune in. And so like when Civil War rolled around, Captain America gets shot and then Bucky jumps in to be Captain America in the interim. It just feels like, yeah, I get it. It's a Band-Aid. Like, how compelling. Captain America's dead. Like, how many times has he died before? Like, you play the death card more than once, and you remove the stakes. And so it's like, who cares? I have no investment in characters who are, for all intents and purposes, invincible.
Yeah.
No matter how you kill them, they were always... How many times have Superman died at this point? Dozens? Hundreds? I don't know. Batman's died. We've seen Batman as, you know, a 40s-esque weirdo billionaire superhero character all the way through his entire life until he's an old man and he's got himself another Batman protege.
Yeah. I mean, we have pretty much Batman's whole life on tap.
We've got 9 or 10 lifetimes worth of shit for Batman, man. Like, there's no... Like, a single day in Batman's life is 10 years of anybody else's life. Like, he has lived through it all. He's had his back broken. He's had his identity revealed multiple times to hundreds of people.
He's traveled through time.
He's, you know, fought ninjas. Like, that's the thing. Like, he's got robot suits and he knows he's buddies with that's why it's hard to get invested unless it's for a short spurt, like a limited run or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you know there's no stakes. No one, like, one of the things I did like about the Ultimates comic book series when they came out, they tried to make it a little real, but the thing is, since you cannot kill these characters, they are invulnerable to literally everything. They just up the body count of the random civilians. So, like, in the Hulk's first appearance, he kills like 400 people. And he's like, oh my God, like, he just fucked up this whole city block and 400 people are dead and countless others are injured, but you never see them. So you're like, who cares? They're literally words on a page, and Hulk is just like Superman. It's just like Batman. They're all invincible.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny that these fanboys fight with legitimate anger. Like, I get a nice, ironic, angry argument. I love to play devil's advocate and will pit one side against the other whenever I can for laughs. But there are people out there who are like genuinely like, you don't understand. Superman has and you're like, oh my God, this is your life. It's so sad.
Yeah, you get like people that are generally pissed when someone says someone can beat someone else in a comic book.
Yeah,
It doesn't really matter, guys.
here's the thing. Anyone can beat anybody in any sort of fiction because as long as you have one of these, it'll happen. I could write a short story right now where you and I kiss, fly off to the moon, and watch the Earth explode while holding hands.
Wait, I've been killed by a vampire in one of your books.
Yeah, you've been killed by. You fought a giant mosquito in one.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. That's right.
Anyone can do anything.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I can make Randy do literally whatever I want. But does that mean it changes him as the person? No, because it's a work of fiction. There's no reason to fight. If a real live giant mosquito does take over your town, though, I need to hear about it.
You'll be the first person I tell.
Kayla says, anybody else notice that the streams aren't all about trivia? Only on the nights David doesn't win.
Listen, it's a lot more freewheeling nowadays. We're getting into our groove, and let's be real. I'm probably the best at trivia ever, so that's a given. But the trivia isn't there for the trivia. Trivia is there.
I'm undefeated, Dave.
Right? He is. Sure.
Sure. I mean, if you want to, I'll make you a belt.
I'll take it. Yeah, my address.
But that's the thing. Like when you watch, that's why I think if like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, if they bullshitted in between each question, I think I would enjoy it more because I don't like. And there is a market for this, so I can't say that it's stupid or it's worthless, but I don't like just like ask a question, answer a question, ask a question, answer a question. Like I want context. I want someone to tell me why or why not you know that.
Yeah. And
that's the interesting thing to me. Like you can if you know of all these favorite, bedtime story, great. I don't give a fuck. Why that you know that? How do you know that?
Right.
Yeah. Why do you know that?
Why do you know that? Why does Randy love oral hygiene so much? We ask these questions to get at the root of our humanity, and without what color is Robin, we wouldn't have figured out a little more about ourselves and a little more about each other.
I can't.
Anyway, guys, I know I started wrapping up about 12 minutes ago, and I'm going to do it for real this time. We are out. Randy, do you want to recommend anything to anybody? Is there something you're enjoying that you think other people should get their eyes, ears, hands, or feet on?
Or teeth.
I mean, I've been rewatching New Girl since there's not a whole lot of new stuff going on TV. It's not a bad show.
I would disagree, but it's your recommendation. I'm not going to step on it.
Appreciate that.
I have been going down. So here's one of the things that I'm into right now that I don't think anybody else I'll ever come into contact will be into. But there's this weird subculture of video essays on YouTube. And it's basically just like what we do here. It's criticism of something without necessarily being funny or entertaining. But I still watch them.
Is it just people like literally reading like a...
It's like I just watched literally before this show. I watched an hour and 45-minute documentary on Murphy Brown. It wasn't funny. I didn't find it particularly interesting. It was just a kid going over each season of Murphy Brown and its details. And I was like, yeah, I'll watch this. But I'm also a connoisseur of very boring things.
Uh-huh.
So that might just be one of my little squiggles.
Scorple.
Guys, Sporkles.
Sporkle.
Someone hit up Sporkle and tell them they need to up their trivia department budget. Whatever. If you came, thank you so much. If you want to support the show, obviously there's the Patreon, and we got merch if you want to support while actually getting something you can hold in your hand, because I would feel ripped off if I gave money and didn't get anything. We're on Twitter, not so much. I'm trying. RJ's helping me. Come by the Facebook if you haven't. If you're watching this in the far off future and you're more than or other than the 8 people who come to every one of these. Bad at self-promotion. I'm wearing the FFOP shirt. I guess that's
we
all
stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah, we stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've got bookings still for 3 weeks.
Yep.
Just so we're in the know as of like right now. This information may not be relevant in the future, obviously, but coming up, we got America's Uncle Monday, Uncle Johnny doing literature trivia all around Lydia from Beetlejuice. And then Wednesday, we're doing Lovecraft trivia with Dominic. That one's going to be fun. And then the big one that everybody, I hope, is getting juiced up for, Gavin McCullough of the Arizona Museum of Natural History is coming in to do a live stream and do Q&A, do trivia and stuff. We're going to talk about dinosaurs. So get your dinosaur questions ready for the typing square, because
either send them to me or put them in the typing square during the stream.
Because he's going to be sitting over there. And we're going to be talking to him about dinosaurs and other paleontological creatures, either before or after.
So excited.
It's going to be very cool. And then, oh my God, since it doesn't look like it's going to fall through, I'm going to tell you guys, Popeye from your favorite Trainwreck and Far Side will also be on. So here's what's going to happen the next couple of weeks, or 3-4 weeks, whatever. So when Gavin is going to be on the show, that will be the day that his episode drops. So that morning, that Friday, you'll be able to hear the interview that I did with him about the sort of local paleontology. So you'll be able to hear that in the morning. Maybe it'll give you some inspiration about what to ask him, because we're doing that stream that night. And then when Popeye is on the show, when that episode is released, he will be on the stream the night that show is released to do Q&A and hang out. Super cool guy. I'm very excited about all our guests coming up. Can't believe that everybody has basically been saying yes to me. So also, once again, thank you, Randy, for being on the show. Of
course.
Your audio quality was at least at expectations. It's live, so my standards are low.
If you saw the setup, I'm sure you would think it was pretty good.
I'm sure. As long as I don't see it, it's probably okay. You're a worthy opponent, and Batman Sidekick trivia. I don't know how much more niche it could have gotten.
Seriously. You guys are killing me with these trivia
but we did
topics.
Well, every time I ask someone, I say, what do you want to do trivia-wise? What's something you know a lot about? That's the one question everyone should ask or answer. They should have an answer for it, because everyone has something they know a lot about. The answer, I don't know, shouldn't exist. Because if I say, what do you know a lot about? You say, I don't know. That means you don't know shit about dick. That's a lie.
I think that's like when someone runs up to you and like, what's your favorite band? And you forget every band you've ever heard of. I think it falls in that category.
What? But it's like,
being put on the spot is definitely hard. But I wouldn't be able to do trivia.
But it's not being. There's context here, people. Context is important. Derek was drunk, and context is important, because I'm not jumping on people. I'm not hopping out of a bush in a ghillie suit while these people are on their lunch break or on their way to work. And I'm like, oh, what kind of trivia do you want? This is usually after a 15 to 20 minute conversation where I have to obviously explain the show because they are in the dark about it. I have to explain who I am because they've forgotten. I have to explain what will happen during the show. And so all that has happened. And I say, yeah, it's trivia. We do this, that, and the other. So trivia comes up 3 or 4 times. So when I say, what do you know a lot about? It's not like I don't pull out a revolver, put in a single bullet, cock it, and say, motherfucker, answer or die. And then I'll pull it to my head and we'll go next. We don't play Russian roulette. It's just a simple question. What do you like and what do you know a lot about?
Well, then when the time comes, like if I ever had to do trivia with you, I know a lot about healthcare.
That's not fun.
But if a question were to be asked, I don't know if I'd be able to answer it because I'm not good at on the spot stuff.
That's the beauty of trivia. Most people aren't, and that's why I can walk away with a W. But when the questions aren't as good, or you come up against an opponent who does not choke under pressure, that's when we have an issue. But whatever. Randy, you were a formidable opponent, and I concede the victory to you, even though, who knows what history will have to say.
Pick a better topic.
I appreciate it.
Maybe we'll do something broader next time.
A little bit
All
more.
right.
Everybody else coming up, I think, is broad enough that I think it'll be okay. Like dinosaurs is a pretty big subject.
Yeah.
Lovecraft is a pretty wide breadth of knowledge. So nothing I think coming up will be this niche again, but it was a good thing to have because now we know it's not super cool. And that there's not a lot of interesting facts about anyone except Jason Todd.
And the color purple.
And the color red. No, the red. Purple, that was at least a semi-difficult because the Huntress is outside of the initial like 3. Like the Holy Trinity, Batman, Robin, Batgirl, the OG crew. Now, if you were to say, what color is Alfred's suit? Also a bad question. Shouldn't be on there. Anyway, guys, it's now been a half an hour since I said we were leaving. And it's time to say goodbye. So once again, everybody, thank you for coming and participating. I appreciate every comment, every, whatever you type here in the chatting square.
Typing square.
The typing window. I enjoy it all. Thanks so much. And until next time, guys, I'll see you Monday.
Bye.
Bye.